Hey, thanks for joining us on another episode of Construction Tech Talk here on Iron Pros. This is technology editor Charles Rathman, and we're joined again with Joel Hutchines of Slate Technologies for another of our We Talk to Smart People episodes.
Thank you for having me again. Excited to be here.
Of course. And we call these episodes We Talk to Smart People because we talk to smart people. That's why we got Joel on here and not just me.
Appreciate it. Let's see how smart though.
So what we're really talking about when we spend time with the folks at Slate is, I'm not sure what we call it really these days. Offsite construction, modular construction, manufacturing, blended construction. It seems like you got a different acronym every time you talk to someone different. Joel, if someone asks you, well, gee, what's the terminology for this? What do you say?
Yeah, well, it really depends on where you are. And I think we do a terrible job here of helping ourselves as an industry. So UK, we often refer to as modern methods of construction. And then really here we talk about industrialized construction. And I think that industrialized construction for me is the great fit. It's all encompassing. It's not just offsite. We're seeing great advancements in the technology on site as well using industrialized processes. So I think that 3D printing, Icon in Texas, and there's a few other examples I can give. There's an evolution here of that technology. So we're not just prefab, we're not just offsite, we're industrialized construction because we embrace industrialized capabilities.
Now, a lot of the time when people are talking about this, they're focused on the pre-construction side of it. How do you plan a project to make use of this? Because the design often has to change so it can be manufactured in often an automated setting. But once it winds up in the field, how does a technology like Slate really make sure that the right stuff gets on the site at the right time and that the folks who are there know what to do to complete their leg of the project?
Yeah, so I think before sort of preaching and getting into the sales pitch of Slate or staying away from that, I think that DFMA, we often talk about DFMA, but we quite often also forget about the A. We spend so much talking about the design for manufacture that we actually really don't touch on how much efficiency is in the process and how much we can refine the process, which really talks about the A in the DFMA. So to get there, first of all, it comes about how we design and how we create efficiencies in the process of design and get data in the hands of the architects at the first instance so we're not redesigning. But then it becomes how we can, as manufacturers, refine our process to be better at A. And that comes down to, the best example there is IKEA. They really own the process of the A, even though they don't deliver it. And I think that as we see this evolve and we see more industrialized construction and we really start to refine the process here, the A becomes extremely important. But what we do know is that every site, everything in construction throws a spanner in the works and you have a unique circumstance. So no matter how much we look at the productized process and we look at the actual delivery and we talk about standardization, something's going to be different based off the site and the context. And this is really where you've got to get the right data in there. It's got to be situational and contextual. And you've also got to have cross-organizational information or intelligence has to transcend the individual. So what I mean there is if you productize your process and then you leverage something like Slate that actually sucks in the data and understands what decisions are made, now the same decision or a similar decision in the future, Slate can take lessons learned. Slate can understand what was made in the past by somebody completely different in your organization, but help you make the right decision now. And what that does is I like to call it the recipe, the mud cake recipe. Over time, my great-grandmother's mud cakes got better, arguably better, as it's passed down. But now I receive that recipe. It's like the information's there and it's a step-by-step, but the situational and contextual relevance, I'm not going to do a great job of it like my sister will. And the fact that if I had Siri or I've had a smart system, artificial intelligence standing there telling me you've overbeat the eggs, throw them out, start again, we're going to do better off. And that's really where Slate can help. Slate can actually aggregate and collect the data to help you productize your process, to help the delivery in the future. So not making the same mistake twice. And that's where artificial intelligence and machine learning can really take DFMA, drive home the A, and actually help everybody start to productize a process rather than looking at a catalog of standardized parts. Look at one process that can evolve over time through technology.
Yeah, and you just made me do a Google search. I didn't realize that a mud cake was an actual dessert. I thought it was like it's like, man, I felt pretty good about my grandmother, but then looking at what these mud cakes really are,
I,
they don't look bad,
I've used
you
technology
know?
a couple of times, and it was actually Vaughan Buckley at VBC the other day. He's Australian as well, and he's like, "It's been a while since I heard mudcake. Like 15 years since he left Australia." He's like, "Joel, you might have to change that analogy here for the US. Better say
Yeah.
just use like a chocolate cake rather than a mud cake." But yeah, mud cake's a chocolate cake. It's really dense and gooey and delicious.
Yeah, yeah. Well, but the main thing is that you're able to, and this is something that we see as a theme across multiple categories of back office construction technology,
Mhm.
where, what's been done before is recorded in a structured data setting. So you can, look back and use that to inform your next process.
Yeah.
What what type of application set or tool set does Slate offer to really, really create that wisdom to take all that data and turn it into something that can be applied on subsequent projects?
Yeah, so Slate, as we mentioned in the past episode, we connect data from multiple sources. We suck it in from everywhere we can, but we also enhance it. So an example of that is, simple security cameras on site. Now they are just streaming in security cameras, but what we can do with that is we can use computer vision over the top and start to look at progress. We can start to look at body counts. We can start to look at time of usage on machinery. There's so many things that we can do with that by enhancing it through technology to then place that with other data sources to contextualize it and provide insight. So we're not just looking at, giving you or asking you a question and then analyzing that answer. We're actually providing you with multiple data sources and then not acknowledging or understanding what's being done with that so that we can offer better suggestions in the future. Now we interact with these sorts of technology every day when we hop in our car and we say we're going to work and all of a sudden our phone tells us, well, today go different route because the way you always go today, there's a crash. Or you're driving down, it says there's a crash ahead, there's roadwork to the left, do a U-turn and go back around because we understand that through our myriad of tools in acquiring and enhancing data, that's going to get you there faster. Now, that's exactly what Slate is doing. It's bringing in data from everywhere and it's contextualizing it so that it can actually provide you with a better way of doing it, as well as decisions that are made in the past or as well as decisions that are made by other individuals. What it does is it allows us to really start to refine our process to just get better and better rather than taking a standard catalog of repeatable products and trying to drive for economies of scale. It sort of pushes the economies of scale across the board by leveraging technology.
And all that's really good big picture stuff. Before I let you go to, get back to doing some real work and, telling people about all the joys of, the solution that you offer. Um, who is your solution for? Are you selling primarily to generals, to design teams? Who should be reaching out to you once they get done watching this and saying, "Oh, well, yeah, you got to tell me more about
Yeah,
this."
so really where we're targeted with our take to market here is the construction management teams. We're pretty focused on what we can do there. But we do have solutions that we offer to the manufacturers themselves to help them actually start to productize their process. So we're focused on construction management teams, but really anybody that wants to talk, I'm happy to always talk because we're spreading ourselves out a little bit and having conversations where we can help. And the technology we have is targeted towards that, but I think we're seeing use cases all over the shop in terms of who could get interest or benefit out of it, and we're always willing to talk to them and have a conversation.
Yeah, yeah. Well, having conversations is what we do here. Our goal here on Iron Pros is to get folks like Joel talking so that you can get a better idea of what it is they're offering, how you can leverage it in your business, and what kind of folks they are. Because looking at someone even over a video like this, yeah, these are reasonable people and they seem like good people for me to potentially work with. So that's what we're doing here. And Joel, we'll look forward to having you back on here before too long as you continue to evolve the solution and the business.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Anytime.
Cheers.